we're going to light that match, get our candle going, and then we're just going to start burning. Now burning. Fabric burns, fabric melts, fabric kind of stinks. So we've got options here. This fabric, you can see it kind of burns. What I want to do is not get the candle to go out, which is going to go out. There we go. And you can decide if you want this to actually burn or just let it get close by. I like, with some of these fabrics, this is where that nice glass of water would come in handy. I like with some of these fabrics to have a nice burned edge. Let me get a lighter colored fabric. Alright, some fabric, when you place it in the flame, it's just going to kind of singe. But some of this fabric, especially these that are kind of a two-tone, you'll notice that it actually gets soot on there. I don't really mind. That soot is going to come off, but what I really like is this edge. I'll show you in some of the flowers that I've done how this becomes kind of a cabbage rose look that you can see there. So I'm going to continue to burn this. Now some of your fabrics, if you have allergies or if you're sensitive to smell, some of the fabrics really stink. So get those windows open, or if you really do have problems with allergies, you know, pick your fabrics carefully. And when you look at the fabric content, basically what I look for is anything that's synthetic. Synthetics will burn or will singe, will melt, will curl, but your natural fabrics won't. So natural fabrics are never going to work for this. Also, fabrics like tulle you can use as a layer. Those layers are going to be great, but you're never going to get a singed edge. What we want to do is kind of simulate the edges of roses and different flowers that are in your garden, if you're lucky enough to have a garden. But I want them to kind of give us some texture. So that's what we're getting here. I'm going to go all the way around this one, and then I'm going to add a little bit more texture to this because it's still fairly flat. So we burned the edges, and what I now want to do is start to add some texture. You'll notice all that soot on the back. That soot you can just wipe off if you want to get your finger damp or something and just get some of that off. But what I want to do is add some texture. So you're going to decide, do you want the peachy side up or the pink side up? I'm going to have the peachy side up. And so we're just going to kind of get close to that flame and just start to get some puckers and things here. And what that's going to do is give me a little bit more texture. And you can see it's just a little bit more three-dimensional. You'll notice this one did a really good job of that. Again, I'll just add a little bit more texture there. Some of the fabrics, this is a two-tone here. When you start to burn this fabric, you may decide you want to add some texture to it beforehand. So before burning, we're going to take our scissors and we're just going to snip and snip. And you can vary how far you want to snip in and how many petals you want to add. But basically, I'm just adding some petals to this. So when I burn those edges, we're going to start with those edges. And again, this one gives a good burn to the end. So it kind of looks like that cabbage rose. And then I'm going to go right inside here. As I go inside that cut, it's going to start to form a petal. And you would continue on around that flower. And even though this turns into something ugly like this, it's going to be really pretty when you start to layer those flowers. So these flowers here, basically you've got pinks here, but on the back side it's more of a peachy color. So those are those two-tone fabrics that you have. Right here I've got kind of a peachy and the pink on the back side. So you get to pick and choose kind of the fabric choices that you want. These have that burned edge, so it's a cabbage rose kind of a look on the edge, but so does this one. These are just various pinks that are here, but this is really crispy just from that burned edge of the flower from the candle. This one is one where I did the snips, and there are multiple snips here. You can see each of those layers. They don't have to be really pretty, but when you start to bundle them up, bunch them all up, it gives you a nice little flowery look.